In this video, I'll be showing you guys and girls how to save the project and send it over to me for mixing and mastering. If you use FL Studio, then that's a great thing because that's what I use to mix and master. If you use something like Pro Tools, Logic Pro X, Cubase, GarageBand, Reaper, etc., you'll have to do this the different way. But I'll show you an example of how it will look and how it should look when you send it to me for mixing and mastering. So first of all, if you have a FL Studio project file and you use plugins or generated sounds such as Nexus to send to me for mixing and mastering, if I do not own the plugin, I will not be able to hear the sound. So let's say you got the plugin called I don't know, like what's it called, Electra X. I don't have that plugin. You would have to consolidate the file, which I'll show you an example. But if you do have everything in terms of the sounds that I use, or maybe you're just using some track file beats and you're not using any sounds like generators at all, this is what you will have to do. First, go to Tools, then Macros, then go to Purge Unused Audio Clips. Click it, and that will delete any sound that you're not using in the project. So if you took like 100 takes and you only use one take out of the 100, that will clean out the other 99 and save space for when you send it over to me for mixing and mastering. So once again, Tools, Macros, Purge Unused Audio Clips. Next, you will have to go to File, Save As, select the folder, I'll just put it right here, or go on the desktop. Name your folder, so this is going to be, I'll just name it Zip Project, right? Go to Save As Type and make sure it says .zip, all right? I'll go on the desktop and then I'll hit Save. Okay, it says processing here, and when it's done, guess what? It's saved, all right? So if I were to drag and drop it into the FL Studio, this is exactly what I will see here. Okay, let's say for the sake of example, I do not own this plugin right here, which I believe is, okay, we got that, everyone got that. Let's just say this one right here, Reactor 5, all right? So I'll have to find the sound for that. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here. Let's say I don't own this sound right here. What I will have to do is in FL Studio 20, you go right click, consolidate this track from song start, all right? Or track start, but for this example, song start. Okay, make sure it's on 32, 512 is for the highest quality, and then hit start. Okay, now if I go here, you can see it's called track 5 consolidated. So if I right click and hit play, what this did was basically turn the generator into a waveform audio file. That way I will have the sound in my program. I would not be able to change the notes, even though that's not part of my job, but I will have the sound ready to use. All right, if it's only one little small section, like let's just say for the sake of example, it's just this little thing here, you could right click, consolidate this track from track start, and it's only going to select the small segment, and I'll hit start, and there we go. So there's the sound right there. I know it looks like a small waveform. If I normalize it, you can see it pretty damn big. And once you do consolidate the tracks that, you know, like I don't have, you could go ahead and do File, Save As, and the same story with the .zip file. So let's say there was an effect in here that I do not own. So I don't use any sound effects for the generators, but for this sake of example, let me go to this one, the Mando, and I'll go ahead and put in this driver. This is a plugin from Native Instruments, so if you do not own it, then I don't know. It's not like if you don't have to own it. So you can see that effect is applied. If you were to consolidate the track in the playlist, it would not work. It would not have this effect in there. So what you do instead is go to the track, go to this recording arm to record button, and then in the playlist, while this is selected, hit Alt and R. This is going to render the track with the driver effect applied. So I'll hit start. Okay. And as we see here, we have the sound called Mondo here. That's not the same sound here. It's created into a new clip, and that clip has the effects applied to it already. One last example that you can do is export everything as split audio tracks. Now the reason why we'll want to do this, if you want to send it over to me, is if you have a messy profile, if you have so many different small clips and you just want to send it all as exported WAV files, you could do that. But you have to make sure that you have all the tracks labeled correctly the way you want it. These are okay if you have it like different names, but as long as the vocals are labeled right, like chorus right, chorus left, chorus high, chorus main, and you have them select in the same or in the right spot, you could have them all in the mixer. Then go ahead and in the playlist, Control R, create a folder, name this split. All right, I'll just name it split, and then zip project or whatever the name of your project is. Make sure it says .wav. Hit save. And on this message right here, we have to make sure that this button is selected. Boom. All right, so this is if you want to export all these things into track.wav files. I'll go ahead and hit start. And if I were to go to my folder called split, you can see here that all these WAV files, if I were to drag it and drop it in, there we go. Now we have all the files that we've had in that project over here into a new project in the form of WAV files. This is really a last resort if you own FL Studio and you just have too many plugins, or if you just want the vocals to be, you know, nice looking, although the consolidating option is a way better thing to do than to, you know, just split it all as mixer tracks. But this is practically a last resort. You can see there's some garbage files like insert one, nothing in there. Maybe there's the current, or there's a master as well. Don't need it. Current is somewhere in here, but whatever. But yeah, this is the last resort, and if I go ahead and hit play, it might be loud. Don't care about calories, I'ma just eat. So there is the 3 ways in terms of send it to me from FL Studio. Now if you use something like Pro Tools or Logic, like I said, you probably would need to figure out how to consolidate the track file and export or bounce them. All right, and the reason why we need to consolidate is this same reason right here. Okay, what if we did not consolidate the track? It would start like this. All right, so if we did from track start, remember how I showed you the Nexus one, it didn't start at the beginning. This would technically be over here. You know, anything that's not consolidated, if the song started here, the track for Nexus, and it'll sound like this. I'ma just eat. And that's not where, you know, I wanted it in the song. Hence, that's why we have to consolidate it. I will try my best to link videos of consolidating for many different DAW programs for you guys and girls if you still have trouble on that. So yes, this is how to send your project. Oh wait, one more thing. After you save your project, you would want to go to Google Drive or WeTransfer.com. So let me go to WeTransfer.com and it will look something like this. Go to Take Me to Free. You click and drag and drop your project files. If you have your .zip file, you could go ahead and drag and drop it in there just like that. But if you do not have your zip file, if your file is not zipped, aka if it's just like your split tracks, notice I drag and drop it in here. It says you need to zip compress your files. You could download something like WinRAR, or I like to use 7-zip, so I could right click, go to 7-zip, and then go to add to split.zip, and that will create the .zip file. I believe there's a way to zip the files just using, regular computer stuff, but go ahead and get 7-zip if you don't have it. It's free, and yeah, I'll just click that and show you it's compressing here. Okay, and then you could take that compressed file and drag and drop it in there. Email to, put my email, which is this one right here, justin.bansiraj@gmail.com. Add whatever message you want, but put your email so it can actually send. And then it'll say transfer, although that's not my real email. There you have it. That is how you do it, how you save the project and send it over to me for those who are confused about it. And again, if you use Pro Tools or something like that, you need a link. I'll provide them in the website or in the description of this video. If you can even see the description, we'll see.